We are live and on the air. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the channel, Yankees Outdoor Adventures. This is another episode of Uncovering the Truth About Conspiracy Theories. Views and opinions expressed during this episode may not be the same as the views and opinions of YouTube or our advertisers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is not a news broadcast. Tonight we have, as always, my awesome collaborator in this show, Ford. Good evening, Ford.
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing great, man. It's great to see you.
It's good to see you. Before we get started tonight, can I start out with a shout out?
Definitely.
Okay. As most of us know, on Thursday you had technical difficulties. Well, on Wednesday we did, and we could not get any internet at all. And so I called AT&T, and I got a representative named Dasha from Sylvania. And man, this young woman worked diligently to get us up and running. And I have to say, of all my years dealing with customer service, she was an absolute delight, an absolute professional. And we came away an hour and a half later with a new friend from Sylvania. So I want to give a big shout out to Dasha, and we love you. Thank you for your help.
That is awesome, Dasha. Thank you very much, because by you helping Ford, you're also helping me. On that note, Dasha is a Verizon employee. Now, of course, we don't work for Verizon or anything of the sort.
AT&T.
But we would just like to mention, though, in effect, that it is Verizon in a way that brings you guys these streams in the first place, because my internet's powered by Verizon and so is Ford's. So definitely, Dasha, a big thank you.
My internet's brought by AT&T, so yeah.
On the note of
StreamYard?
The trouble, yeah. On the note of the trouble, I want to shout out StreamYard, because guys, I don't know if you're using StreamYard or not for your streams. You really should be. Another disclaimer: we don't work for StreamYard, and StreamYard didn't pay us either. This is just from our own observation. Right. StreamYard came back to me. I addressed them that I had this problem that you guys may have seen Thursday night. They got back to me in lightning speed. I mean, lightning speed. And we're really sincere about helping with the problem. And I just want a great big shout out to the StreamYard team. Thank you very much for your customer service. You guys rock.
Yeah.
On another note with that, to say, because we had a lot of problems and it took a lot of working out to get everything worked out. And also Green Feathers was another one that, if it wasn't for him helping me with the browser and the change up that we made, again, we wouldn't be here tonight. So thank you to everyone involved.
Thank you. All right. So hopefully the glitches are behind us. So we're ready to talk about some Mandela effects.
That's what we're going to talk about tonight. We did talk about it Thursday, or I went on to talk about it Thursday. But man, I know you had so much to offer to this, and I didn't want to leave you out. So I figured, hey, a special. Let's do Mandela. But you know what, Ford? What I didn't do in the last video, and I thought maybe we should do in this video, is I never really explained how the Mandela effect could have happened in the first place.
Okay.
Is it the Higgs? Am I saying that properly? Is it the Higgs collector?
No, you're talking about the Hadron Collider.
The Hadron Collider. Yeah. There you go.
CERN. Okay. That's right.
Thank you. I knew I was going to rely on you for that. So,
okay.
It is actually, this is that science project is where this theory kind of comes out of. To give you a gist of the science project, actually, guys, they're trying to understand how the universe was created, I guess, in a sense. So they're experimenting with what could possibly make micro black holes. Okay,
that's it exactly. What the way I understand it is a Hadron Collider is that they fire atoms in a circle at near the speed of light or the speed of light. Don't quote me on that. And then when these two particles collide, that you create a nanosecond of a black hole.
And it's so, micro. So, like, not to be alarmed, it's not the type of black hole that's up in outer space. You know, you think of this massive black hole. They're creating a micro black hole that only exists.
That's right. And so what they're wanting to do is study the density of it and see if there's any elements to it, and try to figure out I think it comes back to the Big Bang Theory.
Correct.
It has something to do with the Big Bang Theory. And to me, it's kind of scary. Anytime you kind of manipulate something that could potentially destroy our solar system, that's you know, I'm a little sketchy on that one.
Right. Well, that is though really where this whole theory kind of birthed out of.
Yeah, now, that's right.
The theory goes on to say that these miniature black holes, which that part of the science is actually true, but where the theory comes in is that these miniature black holes they're creating are actually windows to alternate universes, and because of doing this, they actually made the Earth slip into one of the universes. Okay, so that's right. You're no longer in outer space where you were because of these scientists. The world has slipped into a universe, and we are now somewhere else.
Yeah, that's it. So the theory that relates to CERN with the Mandela is that every time they collide these black holes, that either another universe or dimension, we kind of trade a little bit of each. It intertwines like a wave. Excuse me, like a wave coming in and going out, and of course there's a residual effect, and they're saying that the Mandela is the residual from the violent effect of creating these micro black holes. So very sci-fi, but also very, because it's happening as far as the Hadron Collider and the atoms. So there's who knows, man? It's a theory. It's a conspiracy.
Well, okay, guys, this is something we have talked about in previous shows too. You know that the key to a good conspiracy is having factual on the table that you can work around and add to it to create the conspiracy. So that's you know, this is definitely a great example of that. And as I mentioned last night, the argument against this conspiracy is fine. There's plenty of scientific argument about the human brain. But to argue this with a person who is a believer is really difficult, because to the theory, if you remember the new universe, that's merely because you changed with the universe. Okay, so it's like it's a fail safe to the theory.
Yeah. Well, you know, people are passionate about their own beliefs, and whether it's black holes, Mandela, Bigfoot, whatever it is, you know, anything that can't be absolutely proven can fall into the realm of conspiracy one way or the other.
I agree. 100%. I see we are getting a great chat room, and good evening to everybody. If anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to ask a question. Hammerbot will definitely point it out to us, and we'll definitely address you guys. Ford, did you want to, since we kind of did explain what it is, yesterday's video, I really went into a lot of detail, or Thursday's video rather, after the technical stuff. I went into a lot of detail about the brain and about the science part of disputing the Mandela effect. But tonight, I know, Ford, you got some great examples, and I thought it was really great allowing the audience to, you know, kind of participate with what they remember. So was there a particular one you wanted me to pull up first?
Yeah, I'm pretty intrigued with the King Tut headdress.
All right,
that seems new to me. Now, in ancient Egypt, it was separated in the Upper and Lower Nile, and King Tut, of course, was a pharaoh of Egypt, and a very famous pharaoh. And when he died, he had this, there it is, this beautiful, elaborate tomb and headdress. Now, the problem that I have with this Mandela and the reality of the headdress now is that the Egyptians were super freaky about symmetry. And I've really looked into this one, and I cannot remember there being two icons on the forehead of the headdress. In my memory, which often fails me, but in this case, I'm pretty secure that there was just a cobra that sat center of the forehead on his headdress on the tomb. And now I think it's a bird and a cobra. That's I don't remember that.
I don't know if you guys can see it there or not, but it is two items, and that is the conspiracy of this particular Mandela effect, is that the original only had one item. And again, you know, as we go, if anyone, what do you guys remember? I'd love to hear your opinions on what you remember.
With the audience on this one.
Yeah, I think we should have asked them first.
I think what I'm sorry, I'm talking over you. I think it's a cobra and maybe a vulture.
Yes.
And I just remember the cobra, man. Yeah.
See, yeah, and this one particular for me, I didn't know about this one until today. Okay, right. That's how new of the it being the thing. When I was told about it, before I looked for the picture, I tried to search my memory, and God, man, over the years there have been so many mummies found, and so many different images discovered. I just couldn't tell you honestly if it did or didn't. So yeah, I mean, I stand in that window of I'll believe whatever it is, because I don't remember if it did or didn't.
Yeah, man, I would lay down money that it was just the cobra, but evidently I'm mistaken. So, and when it comes to these Mandelas, I'm not headstrong on everything being a Mandela. I ride the fence. There are certain things that I'm pretty passionate about as far as memory. Some of them I have no dog in the hunt. I just absolutely don't remember. There's a lot of cultural aspects to these that I just never paid attention to, like Skechers brand, the spelling of that. I was always more into the surfing aspect and the surfing lifestyle than the skateboard. And Skechers is kind of the skateboard thing. There it is. Nice
right.
work.
And that was one also. So it was in the spelling of Skechers, and it was whether or not there's a T in Skechers. And guys, you know, I'd say, without looking at your shoes, what do you remember, a T or no T? Just go ahead and let us know in the comment section, T or no T. And again, with this one, Ford, I got to admit, you know, with some of these, I like you poetically said there, I had no dog in the fight. I couldn't remember. I couldn't tell you if it had a T or if it didn't have a T. I really couldn't remember. So for me to say that, you know, for this to convince me of a Mandela effect, it's not going to happen, because I just I'm not going to battle over that memory.
If it were surfboards and sex wax, I could pretty much comment on it. But the skateboard, and I associate Skechers with skateboard culture for some reason.
Right.
Yeah, that was just never my thing. I'm not knocking it. It's cool, but that was just never, you know, something I got into.
But you know, did anybody did we get a T, a no T? And it is actually no T in Skechers.
Uncle Al said no T.
Yeah, Uncle Al. I wonder what Uncle Al remembers about this one.
Yeah, he was there.
Uncle Al, what do you remember about this one? Here's something a quick way to answer though. Do you remember this being solved or this being an unsolved mystery? Solved or unsolved?
Yeah.
The Lindbergh Baby. The Lindberghs were a very popular young couple, and their child was kidnapped for a ransom. If anybody doesn't know of the story, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't know of the story. I should know this story, but
I should too. I've got a degree in American history, and I am embarrassed to say I have no clue. My educational background is emergency medicine, philosophy, and history. And when it comes to the Lindbergh, I have no clue.
All right, we got it. Never was solved.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, it was again. This was a case. Was it solved or was it not solved?
Yeah, I think if I were going to give I think that I was taught that it was not solved.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I would go with that. That seems kind of familiar.
You would think that it was not, and I kind of stood on the fence with this because I felt kind of the same way. However, in actuality, it was solved. Unfortunately, it wasn't solved nicely. The baby was found. They estimated that it was murdered soon after the kidnapping, and a gentleman went to jail for the crime, tried and convicted.
Wow!
So it was actually solved. That one was one that I thought, I thought it was a mystery, an unsolved mystery. And that was the Lindbergh Baby.
You got one?
Yeah, we got a bunch of them here. I mean, we can go from Lindbergh Baby to the Looney Tunes.
Okay, now here's one that I'm pretty damn passionate about. I remember Looney Tunes, the tunes being TOONS, as in cartoons, Looney cartoons, Looney Tunes. And now it's TUNES, as in music. That does not. Yeah, man. I got to go with the tunes as in cartoons. That is definitely a memory.
All right, guys, what do you remember about Looney Tunes?
Excuse me.
Looney Tunes. Yeah, when I come across this one, Ford, actually, me and you talked about this one, and
yeah,
I actually picked the opposite one of you,
right?
And I felt
you
just
usually
as convicted. Yeah, guys, what do y'all think? And we can go ahead.
Man, tunes like in cartoons, Looney Tunes.
And believe it or not, don't beat me up, Lord, man.
I know what this reality says it is.
Reality says
pretty jacked up.
It is Looney Tunes. TUNES. As in some loony cartoons. No, as in loony music.
Yeah, as in loony music. That doesn't make any sense, man.
Well, okay. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it to you. You want me to give you the argument and why I said it was the other way? I said it was Looney Tunes?
Yeah,
because cartoons got their debut before movies. Okay.
Yeah, right.
And cartoons were always musical. They were musicals.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So to say a Looney Tune to me would be a cartoon movie.
I know, but that's failed thinking. So
I slipped through the universe, man. I slipped through
the universe because In
Well,
this
right. I
reality time
agree.
frame, I remember TONS, man.
You
But
slipped out. I slipped in.
yeah,
I
you
see
slipped in.
somebody in the audience mention this one right here.
Yeah, that's a big one. And this is one that's intriguing to me, but I wouldn't know. I still don't know what the hell these things are. These talking bears. I think it's a children's thing.
Yeah, the Bernstein Bears. I didn't
Yeah,
have a dog in this fight, guys. So
yeah,
uh,
same here.
it was like it's like one of the most common that come up in the search.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
I honestly didn't have. I guess I just didn't. As a kid, I didn't like these bears. I guess I don't know, but
Yeah, same here. Joy is my wife. Joy she's familiar with these, and she had to explain this whole Bernstein bear, Bernstein,
and
whatever.
which one
Man.
did she think it was?
What I-N E-I-N? Yeah, E-I-N. So
VIN, and that's what you honestly remember from your childhood of it being.
that's what she says. Yes, yeah.
And then, of course,
True.
reality wants to argue that.
Yeah.
With it being, this one here.
Yeah. So she says the modern one is wrong, but
the modern one's wrong. Well, that is the perfect definition of the Mandela effect. That's what it would dictate is happening. Is that the modern is wrong? Am I reading? Does Hawk have some value to that? I know he looked up some information there for us also. Thank you for that. Here was one.
Man. Okay, now this is Curious George. That's what we're looking
his
at.
name.
He was a monkey. Now a monkey has a prehensile tail. An ape does not have a tail. And the lowest form of ape is the gibbon. Apes are gibbons, chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans.
But
Curious George is a monkey, so he would have a tail.
But brother, what if I told you George isn't really a monkey? He's a cartoon.
He's a cartoon monkey. So, yeah.
But as a cartoon, does he have to have a tail?
Yeah, I think
hey guys,
so.
Tell us, tail, no tail. What do you think?
Hey, in the last stream, you called me a dancing monkey, so this hits close to home. Yeah, I remember. I know that the reality currently is that he does not, but I remember him definitely with a tail. So this is a Mandela that I can buy into. I believe that he had a tail.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I think that's a again that's a pretty popular one. You're not alone with that opinion.
Oh, I know. Yeah, a lot of people remember the tail, and
Hawk mentioned tail.
Yeah.
Uncle Al said no tail though, but he might have been talking about his lifestyle. I don't know. I seen your girlfriend video, Al. Okay. This one was. I thought this one here. I had no problem with this.
Yeah,
one.
You and I were talking about this one. I think that it's pop culture. Beam me up, Scotty.
Yep. Now that's what Is this something he ever said? Yes or no? Did he ever say that? And of course, we're talking about the original. The original few episodes that was made before the show was canceled, right. And years later picked up when you all began to watch it.
Yeah.
But did he ever say that line? Did he ever say, "Beam me up, Scotty"? Beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life down here.
Or we're in a world of hurt. Beam us up immediately, Scotty. Oh, the tricorder. No, what was it? The tricorder was the scientific thing. The communicator was like their walkie-talkie, right?
Yeah, I like Next Generation's communicators better. That was just a little button on their chest. I thought that was more convenient.
We're nerding out right now. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like Star Trek.
I agree.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Did we get anybody? Did anybody say?
Hawk thinks he said it. I think he said it.
Joy and Hawks both believe that he said, "Beam me up, Scotty."
And I believe he did not say it. But
I'm going to go with Joy and Hawk because it just seems ingrained in my mind that he did say it. I could even see his mannerisms, him saying it.
It's been blemished that way a lot. Yeah. In fact, I believe in the new Star Trek, he does say it.
I don't know. It seems familiar to me, but it could have been, from years of hearing it.
I don't know. As a Trekkie, we always thought it was funny that saying because we knew he never said it. But again, that was just.
Hey, now I'm going to inform the audience of your level of nerdness. Yankee and I talk a lot, and this man is a Star Trek geek. You are a Star Trek super freak, man. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a Star Wars guy.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a nerd with it, but it's all right.
That's okay.
You can have worse.
Tank Man. Ooh, I'm glad you pulled this one up. I got a good one. Man, it is a good one. Now, I've seen 3 different types of Mandelas on this. One is where he stops the tanks, and then the soldiers exit the tanks, and it's kind of like a hug fest. I saw one where he walked away, and I saw one where the tank ran over him. So there's 3 separate ones. And in my mind, I remember him walking away. But I got an added thing I want to add to this particular Mandela. I grew up in Russellville, Arkansas. And in 1980-81, we were one of the first towns in Arkansas to get cable. And I remember sitting up late one night, and I think it was Charlie Rose was giving a news report about Tiananmen Square. And I remember this happening vividly. But the problem is the time frame. I remember watching this on TV in 1980 or 81, and this event happened in 1989.
Right, and time frames are definitely part of the Mandela effect, that sometimes the events are the same and time frames are different. With this particular one, I remembered seeing the scene, but I couldn't ever retell you what the outcome was. And I don't really know why. So I researched all the video clips I could find. I was doing that today, actually. Yeah. And there's a lot. All right. There's a lot of video clips of this. But now, hear me out on this.
Hey, Yogi, fix your speaker. Something happened with your sound.
Sorry, bro. Hang on 1 second. I'll be right
back with you. Okay. I hate it when this happens, man. So, yeah, the Tiananmen Square thing, I remember it happening, and I remember the guy walking away. Okay, there you go. All right. Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
I researched it a lot, and stick with me with my theory of why this is the Mandela effect, okay?
Yeah.
When I was researching this video, I found several video clips of it. Now, the longest video clip of it I didn't find until last. And my opinion was changing right before my eyes. Because the first video clip I seen of it, he literally walked off. But here's the problem. He walked toward away from the tank and the video ended. The next clip I seen was longer. Once he walked to this side, he walked back and climbed onto the tank. And that's where that video ended.
Now, I remember that. I remember he got on the tank and the soldiers stopped the tank and they got out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That video ended there. But the soldier literally opened the hatch and his head come up, and that's where it stopped. All right. So now, again, like you just said, the soldiers come out. Now, the longest clip I watched changed the perspective of everything. He walked away for a second and he came back. He climbed up on the tank. The man come up out of the tank, He got back down, and the man got back down in the tank. He then stepped back again, and this is where the video ends. So here's the thing that I found through, and I was looking at old CNN, I was looking at old royalty stock, I was digging everywhere for this footage.
Good.
There is no footage of what happens more than a few seconds past his interaction with this tank.
Yeah.
Anything that happened after what we've seen in the under a minute and 30 seconds is speculated and filled in. I don't know if we've ever seen him get run over by a tank or anything of the sort, because the clip wasn't long enough for that. Could it have happened? Yeah, because it wasn't over when the tape ended. There was shit going on.
This is a big one. Let's.
Alan Hawks say he got ran over.
Alan Hawks say that he got ran over in the chat. So, and
according to mainstream thinking of today's universe, we'll say he did not. He did not get run over.
Yeah, I do remember him leaving, coming back, and getting on the tank. I do remember that, but after that, my memory completely fails me on the events. And like I said,
I think it fails you because there wasn't really much further than that. There wasn't any footage. And the way I describe splitting it up is the way other news agencies split it up when they showed it to you guys in mass quantities. So you got different pictures of it. And depending which news broadcast you watched, you've seen it a little bit differently than the other guy. All because of where they edited it at. If that makes any sense. But
for me, it's a
I don't think we do know.
It's not whether he lived or died. For me, it's a discrepancy of time.
Right. Right. And as you mentioned,
Yankee, the audience is saying, the chat is saying, go watch one of the installments of the Faces of Death. There's a series of videos, and they're called different volumes, The Faces of Death. Now, they're gruesome, so I want to say a disclaimer here, because you actually see human beings' demise.
Right.
But, that might be where we need to go to see the outcome of this. And if Hawk and Al are saying that he got ran over, perhaps they saw the Faces of Death.
But now here's what I guess I would say to that is that go to it now and see if that still exists, or if you find it and it's a different situation. Because for the Mandela effect to be true, you wouldn't find a remnant of the old existence.
That's interesting. Yeah, and that comes to play like with the Sinbad movie and with the Star Wars, with the great line from Vader. Luke, I am your father. No, I am your father.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's interesting on a lot of these Mandelas because we're so passionate about it, but then we go to research, and either the music or the movie, the lines have changed before scrap. Billy Graham. Now that's a good one.
It works right into time. Because like we said, the Mandela effect may keep the situation the same, but change the timing of the situation.
Man, and I remember Billy Graham dying around 2014 or 2016. I have a memory of President Clinton.
Which one, guys? Tell us in the chat room. I just say, tell us in the chat room, guys. 2009 or 2018? When did he die?
I'm gonna have to go 2009 personally. I said 14, 16, but I'll go 2009 because I have a memory of him passing away, and I think that I remember President Clinton residing over the funeral. But I think that I almost swore, but I think he died way before 2018. So that's a good one right there.
And that's this is one, and we got audience members that think he's still alive. So
Really?
this is one, you know, again, it's a biggie because, yes, according to his obituary, he died in 2018.
18, that's what it says online. Now, I ran across one today that was Patrick Swayze. Remember him?
Yeah, with his cancer.
Yeah. I saw where a lot of people, now he passed away in my reality. And we lost Patrick Swayze. But a lot of people think that Patrick Swayze made a complete recovery and is alive today, but too weak to perform. A lot of people believe he's still alive.
I didn't read that part of it. I know they thought he beat his cancer and died of something else or something like that. But
a lot of people think he's still alive, so that's interesting.
My memory of that was, you know, it was pretty tragic. He passed away too young, and
sad. Yeah, we lost a talent.
I mean, I did have a memory about remission. But, you know, if you've ever had a family member or loved one who goes through cancer, remission isn't a cure word.
No.
And people go through remission a lot before they die, you know. So, but that's a sad story.
But excuse me. Yeah, that is so sad. We lost a talent.
We did.
He was in the original Red Dawn.
Yeah. Awesome movie.
Wolverine. Yeah, Wolverines. That's right.
Wolverines.
That's it. Joyce was Ghost, but you know, Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
This one hits home with me, and it bothers me real bad. My last name is Ford. For those of you who don't know me, I grew up with this, and I do not, as a child, or even a teenager, young adult, I do not remember all the fancy swirls.
T or B, guys, top or bottom? What is it? T or B? What is the bottom?
What drives me nuts. Hawk says the bottom. Hawk, I'm with you, man. I say the bottom as well. And again, I'm really very familiar with this. This bothers the shit out of me, man.
Well, you know, I'm you know me. I'm gonna pull this up too, guys.
Yeah.
And this right here is actually what this is an illustration of every Ford logo they use since 1903.
But now I got to interrupt you here. A lot of these logos were special edition. A lot of these logos are like for the Mustang. A lot of these logos for like the limited edition F-150. So a lot of these are limited edition icons or you know, emblems.
Right.
So yeah.
Of these, the 1909 logo, the 1909 logo, top row, third one over. I have that one enlarged on the side of the screen here. That one does not have the swoop, the swirl. That one actually goes straight into the O. Okay. But now, of course, all of the others, if you were wondering, all of the others do look like the top picture you're seeing right here. That little swirl above the Ford there, the O, the little swirl
coming off. Yeah, that's right. And see, I'm with Hawk. I don't remember that swirl until modern time, until I started researching this one. I always remember it being without the fancy little swirl. And the swirl bothers me real bad.
Right. Like I said, I don't know how well you're actually seeing the smaller pictures. You might have to take my word for it. I did do a zoom in on them. Other than the real early editions, that top row, those three are the ones I have enlarged on the side. The Ford Motor Corp, that was their very first. The Ford football there was actually their 1907, and then the Ford with the straight line. All of the rest do have that little swirl, although it's small. And, you know, if you don't really zoom in on it, on these pictures, it's hard to see. So is it overlooked? Was it overlooked by us?
No, I'm I'm pretty passionate about this one. This is my name. And so I had patches on my shirts, patches on my jackets, I had stickers. My stepfather worked for, he sold automobiles. So I was surrounded by Ford constantly. And I do not remember the swirl until I started researching this. You brought it to my attention. And when you brought it to my attention, it was just like, oh, no.
It's one of those Mandela effects. So, again, uh, is this a simple missing it with your eye? I mean, how many of you is when I should have done this differently, because here, let me give you guys an honest for a minute. When I pulled this picture up, I had to look at it a dozen times before I even noticed the swirl. I was trying to figure out what's different about these two pictures.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't see it. That's how little it stuck out to me. That being said, I can't be 100% sure on my memory because I don't know if I ever paid attention to it.
I'm going no. No. Nada.
They were pretty small on cars.
Right.
I had to go look. But see, there you go. But that's a good example. For anybody who doesn't know, you have to actually, you have to go look. I think it would take a Ford employee who's literally working in the manufacturing of the tags probably to tell you, oh, yeah, it's a swirl. They were swirly, though. I mean, take a look at that first logo. He definitely liked swirls, even though it wasn't in the name there. It seems that the quality of the swirly stuff stuck with the name all through history.
Right.
But hey, who knows?
Who knows? I think that it's not swirly, but I know it is swirly, so that's going to bug me for the rest of my life.
Here was one I had no dog in.
My wife Joyce says black tail. I'm no dog in this hunt. I have no idea.
Does he have a black tail or no black tail, guys? Give me a B or an N. Black or none. Black or none.
I had no idea what this thing was until my wife explained it to me.
Yeah, I knew what he was because of the video game thing that they were doing, where people were getting in trouble because they were trying to chase down Pikachus, right? It's the same design thing, I think. But that's how I knew about it.
This is a Pikachu?
I do believe it's Pikachu. Yes, it is.
George said, Pikachu.
Okay, Fortune says, is that really Steve? How are you?
Hey, Zach or Brenda, how are you?
Awesome. Hi guys, welcome. But yeah, it is no black. Again, I had no idea, guys. I didn't have a clue whether or not he had green tail.
I have no opinion on this one.
I just know they didn't they have like a Pokemon Go game or something, and all the kids were getting in trouble because they were going on private property trying to chase Pokemon with their phone.
I don't know.
They did. Yeah. They did. Yeah. Because I remember they did, because to lighten the mood and to be comical, we were at the hospital it was a cancer treatment hospital. We were getting family member was there, and it was just it's always so somber there. And one of the nurses just was walking by, and I was holding my phone in my hand, and I said, "Hey," I already looked, and they had a quarantine ward. Okay, and it was on the fourth floor, like fourth floor B or something, was quarantine ward. So I was like, "Hey, can you tell me where 4B is? I'm trying to find this Pokemon. He's on that floor." And I was, trying to make like I was trying to go down a quarantine ward, as customer. But yeah. I guess it was funny if you were me. It lightened up the mood. Anyway,
That's good. That's always needed in that situation.
I'll chase the Pokemon down into the quarantine ward because I need 5 points.
I don't know what Pokemon is. I have no idea about any of that. That's pop culture stuff, but I don't know, man. Mother Teresa.
Yes, Mother Teresa. Now this one has to do with her sainthood, and again, it has to do with a time shift or whatnot. She did become a saint. The Pope Francis is what modern day says made her a saint. But the controversy is, did it happen in 1990s? Sometime in the 1990s, was she named a saint, or was she named a saint after she died in 2016?
Don't you become a saint after you pass away?
That's exactly what I said, Ford. Okay. Straight up, word for word. That's what I said.
So I don't know. I would go with. I don't know.
A person who was on the side of this had said to me that was why they remembered, was because she was the first living saint. And I was like, oh. And then I was like, no. And then something in my head almost made me want to believe that, though. But no, you don't get named a saint until you die. That's just part of being a saint, guys. Sorry about your luck if that's what your goal in life is.
So what's the answer on this one?
It is she was named saint after 2016, after she died.
Joy, what'd you say? 2016. Somebody watching said 2016 as well.
Yeah. Yep. That was it. Let's see. Did we run through all the ones we brought with tonight, Ford?
I don't know.
You know what, man? I think
you popped a couple of surprises on me. This is fun.
I did. I think we did, though. I think we run through them all.
Oh, wow.
I think we run through them all. We did a lot of them here.
You know, I was watching the other night, Thursday night, on the second show. I came back into the chat, and I was watching, and you brought up Sex and the City.
Yes.
And Hoople's cat, I have a lot of respect for Hoople's. He was watching, and he commented. First, he said Sex and the City, and I guess he talked to Kitty. And then he came back and said Sex in the City. I distinctly remember Sex in the City.
Right.
Sex in the City. I think that's what, Sex and the City doesn't even seem like it makes sense to me. And Joy, to my right, my wife says, yes, Sex in the City. So
Sex in the City. But and the reality of that one is, according to mainstream, is it Sex in the City.
Right. That doesn't ring a bell with me at all.
No. Things of it being said in the city.
Yeah.
I should have bought that box at the yard sale. It said in the city.
Yeah, my Joy, again, my wife, she was at a yard sale and actually found a DVD that said Sex in the City.
I don't watch it.
But we don't watch that kind of show, it's not us, so she didn't buy it. I really do wish she would have bought that.
Yeah, really. But would it have changed right in front of your eyes as the universe changed? I guess there's your question. And guys, we have talked a lot about the Mandela Effect tonight, and we have talked about it really not in a negative light at all, but there was a lot more detail in last Thursday's show. It's also titled The Mandela Effect. That gave more of the breakdown of the science side of this argument. So don't think we're all one-sided. There is a breakdown to explain pretty much every one of these Mandela effects we were explaining as we went through them. So if you're more into understanding that science side of it, of what science says about it, then that video definitely will have a lot for you in it as well.
A big one with me is James Earl Jones and Darth Vader, the famous Luke or not Luke. And people say, oh, no, he said, Luke, I am your father. Or he said, no, I am your father. And see, for me, I remember him saying, no, Luke. There you go, Darth Vader. No, Luke, I am your father. So I have both of them in my consciousness. So I think that he said both. No, Luke, I am your father. But of course, the line now is no.
Now, I just watched a interview today with the actor who played Darth Vader, and he was just talking about the role, and he quoted the role, and he did say the word Luke.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean the movie said the word Luke, but in the interview, he said, Luke, I'm not your father.
Yeah, that would be Mr. James. I think it's James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that beautiful voice of his.
Incredible. So many people
man.
heard it. You don't even know.
Yeah.
You may have heard it and not even know.
Exactly. And I think I know what you're talking about, where he was surprised. And he said, oh, this must be a lie. How can this be? You know, what a twist. That,
but
he was going to say, Luke, I am your father. So
right. He was talking about the movie itself, that he thought that was an incredible role shift.
Think so?
In that interview,
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. From that clip of interview, you got to go dig up the entire interview.
See, Hawk and I'm going to say this from the chat. Hawk and I need to be hanging out, because once again, he has the same, recall of this that I do. No, Luke, I am your father. That's exactly the way I remember it as well.
And again, with this one, because I researched that as deep as I could. With the actor did say that in the interview, but the interview clips that were selling the Mandela Effect literally cut his video right after he said, and it was so surprising. It's what a twist. Luke, I am your father. And then they cut it. Like he was talking about the Mandela Effect, but he was talking about the movie. And he thought it was an incredible twist. And I dug up the interview to where he did where you get a lot more of what he said. He was impressed by the writers, and that's why he said that in the interview. But now that doesn't mean he did or didn't say it in the movie. I'll give you that. So let's go to the movie a minute. In the research of this, no directors, no producers would commit to saying that there wasn't more than one take. And they also would not commit to saying that they haven't shown the public more than one take. Okay. That there may have been several edited creations of the movie.
I don't know. But I think Hawk and I are right.
Well, that's where it is on the research of it, whether or not, is it a Mandela effect?
It's Mandela effect. He said, no, Luke, I am your father.
So I got a question, and we're going to wrap it up here pretty soon, but I got a question. If it's the Mandela effect, this is just to make you come outside the box a little bit. So if you're here tonight and you don't believe in the Mandela effect, close that off for a moment. Fall on into an alternate universe with me and pretend there is a Mandela effect. My question is to you, if there's a Mandela effect, does that mean we have a better chance of encountering alien life or a lesser chance of encountering alien life? What do you think? Better chance or lesser chance?
If Mandela effects are real?
Yeah. As you say, now what does that have to do with it? Well, that means we're slipping through universes. So as we slip through universes, do we have a better chance of finding extraterrestrial life or a lesser chance?
So. I'm going to go with because I hope so. If this turns out to have levity to it, and this is real, that we are slipping in and out of another dimension or reality in some way. Gosh, that'd be glorious if there were aliens. That'd be great. I'd love that shit. So I hope so. What about you? What do you think?
Well, I mean, if you were looking at that as a universal shift of our planet, hypothetically, I mean, again, this is to get you to think outside your box. That's the question's purpose. Are we constantly slipping? I guess would be my first opinion of this. Is the Mandela effect constantly evolving, meaning we're constantly slipping through the universe? In which case, would we ever have time to encounter aliens through all this shifting? Maybe we'd have a lesser chance.
Man, that you brought this up. There was a show back in the early 90s, I think, don't quote me on time period, but I think it was in the 90s, called Sliders. And it was a group of people that would slide from one dimension to another or another time frame. That's very close to what you're talking about here.
But that's what Mandela effect is, really.
Man, that's right. At Fringe.
It is that slide. So in that show that you're talking about, I wish I had a picture to pull up. Actually, I was one of the 10 people in the world who watched the show, me and Ford, because it didn't last long. They killed it on us. But that show was more or less, they had found a way to open up these and step into them. So they were sliding universe to universe. Every universe they landed on was an Earth in a different way.
Right.
I remember with a lot of theories and good ideas.
That show had one of the greatest villains of all time, the Cro-Mags. A reality where human beings were subservient to the Cro-Magnon. And the Cro-Mags were kind of like Nazis. Man, that was a great villain.
The sky's the limit. If you want to buy into this, the sky is the limit. Tomorrow morning, you guys could wake up and find out lizard people are real because we just slipped into that universe last night while you were sleeping. And all the people at the White House will take their masks off and they'll all be lizards.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that, man. But yes. The reptilians.
Oh, mercy. Oh, mercy. You got to love that.
That's great.
And that's something that will definitely probably end up working its way into a future episode also.
Oh, we've got to do that. We've got to explore the reptilians, man.
We definitely have to.
Yeah.
And guys, again, we do this on the last Thursday of every month, but we're going to start expanding on that. We're going to give you guys 2 shows a month, especially with the topics like tonight, one that expands into longer than an hour. If we're going to be on here longer than an hour, we're going to break them up into another topic.
I'm good.
I think this is a great conclusion to Mandela, though, because between the 2 videos, we really did explore both sides of this theory. And I think we were open to both sides of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said at the opening of this one, I'm not married to any particular train of thought when it comes to this. I'm open-minded to it. Some of these I remember, some of these I don't. And some of these I have no interest in, right? Like a Pikachu. I don't know what the hell a Pikachu is. But I think it's all interesting. I think it's all fun. And this is a fun topic. Mandela.
It's a fun topic. I stand in the part with the Mandela effect that it's not a thing I think about on a constant basis. To be honest with you, I am more worried that something in Antarctica is going to thaw out and kill us all than I am worried that anything's going to happen with a universe slip. But You know, that's me. That's where my thoughts would go more to being worried about what's under all this ice that's disappearing yearly. And you know, things can be refrigerated a really long time, guys.
Yeah.
And we know from past of our planet, things have died in mass numbers before. So who knows what killers lurk in those ice cubes?
Yeah, no kidding.
Or do you want to say anything else? We'll wrap it up.
Well, once again, I want to say a very special thanks to our new friend Dasha.
Yes, awesome. Dasha, thank you.
Yeah, and I want to thank StreamYard for their professionalism. And I want to thank everyone who has come back to watch the third installment of this mess. And I want to apologize for Thursday. So I appreciate everyone who watches this. Thank you very much.
Yep, and again, guys, keep an eye out, keep the bell rung. We're going to be expanding on this particular series, so we'll be doing them twice a month, and we always look forward to seeing you all there. If you're watching this in the replay, thank you for taking time out of your day, and please leave a comment. And everyone, remember, don't believe everything you hear and everything you see. Take a moment, do a little research, and use some common sense before you jump into a whole new theory or religion. Don't drink the Kool-Aid just because someone said so. Find out what's in it first. And until our trails meet again, I hope all your adventures are awesome. With Ishita, everybody. And we are